morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and this is the Rant. And today we're going to be talking about live streaming tools. Are you a live streamer? Are you wanting to get into live streaming? Do you have an opinion about live streaming? Well, I've got plenty of them. We're going to talk about them today. So buckle up, grab your tits, let's ode. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Jade and this is The Rant. And I've got the wrong branding up the top there today because, of course, I forgot. It is what it is. You're doing okay. It's the start of a brand new week here in Australia, Monday morning, and lots of stuff planned for this week on Le Channel. Woo! Big week as always on the YouTubes of entertainment, live streaming and all that kind of stuff. So I thought it'd be a good time to kind of talk about this stuff and maybe help some people understand a little bit about OBS. And if you want me to do something further on OBS, we can do that. We can start a series on here and maybe sometime in the next couple of weeks do a full series on using OBS, because a lot of people think it's like the boogeyman. Oh, it's so scary. It's this internet streaming platform that's free and it's so complicated. It's not actually. That's your mind tricking you and telling you that things are complicated when they're actually not. The problem is with it, I think, is not that the thing is actually complicated. It's that people don't have the time to sit down and actually plan to use something like OBS, because it does take a little bit of time to set it up and have it going to how you want. But then once you've got it going, there's multiple ways you can use it to, stream into something like Streamyard and Restream or any of those kind of streaming services. So you're really only using OBS as a shell. So let's talk about, before we get into things, some stuff that's coming up on the channel this week. And I can enjoy my coffee. Now say hello to you all. Damn, that coffee's good. Apart from my hair that's sticking on it. So we've got lots of app reviews coming up this week, pre-records and live streams. Tomorrow we have an app. I've forgotten which one. Let me find it. Oh, yeah, we're doing this tomorrow. Audio Things, RES09. We're doing this tomorrow, so finally getting to that. Also, the day after, we're taking a look at Cubasis 3.7.5 from Steinberg with their brand new update, which allows you to finish a project or get halfway through a project and then go and open it in Cubase on your Mac or your Windows computer and then send it back. Or you can start something in Cubase and then send it over to iOS. Really cool update. Glad they've finally got into the 20th century by doing stuff like that. And then I think the other live stream this week is Blease Tides by Blease. Fantastic little delay. And then we're wrapping up this week with something really special. We stopped doing the Creator Rewind shows last year, and I think it was around June, and our episode 9 was with Patrick Baird. Well, we're back this week. So Creator Rewind episode 10 is back. And we got Laurie's Mishmosh on the show. So grab your ankles, folks. It's me and Laurie for 2 hours. It's going to be wild. You know what it's going to be like. It should be heaps of fun. Of course, we got Laurie on because she's awesome. Lovely stuff. So that's where we're at. Let's say hello to you all and we'll get into this. Loz is in there. Loz says Hugh. Hi, Hugh. Listen, mate, I hope with the continued success with your health and we get to see you soon doing some live streams and playing again. Much love to you, Hugh. Tremor Bear, almost as much love to you. No, I'm joking. Good to see you, Tremor Bear. Thomas Christ is in the house. Where's his thing? There he is there. And he's been dumping links for us as well too. Become a Patreon. You can also SuperStickers, all the stuff. And become a member as well. Who's up the top here? Ed Zielinski, I think, and Studio 6+1. Hi, Dave. Herbs is in the house. Ron, Wallstone Studio, and the amazing Jenny Gervais is in the house too. Paws and Guitars, g'day to you. I'm going to make an announcement. I'm just getting it out there. I'm going to say it now. Let's just do it. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. There is no more opening hour for maybe 2 months here on this channel. The opening hour from this week on is gone. There is something else we're doing in place of it. I'll let you know what it is. It's going to be fun. Trust me. So, you know, if you tell me if you want me to explain it, and I'll give you the rundown of what's happening with the opening hour for a short break for maybe 2 months at the end of today's show. Streaming services. What is streaming? How did it come about? What is its history? How has it taken off so much? Because these days, everything is streaming. There's always somebody streaming. Wherever you go, there's somebody live. There's somebody either talking a bunch of nonsense, talking a bunch of stuff that's interesting, playing terribly, playing amazingly, having conversations. Sometimes there's just a whole bunch of circles on the screen with nobody's face, and they're all just talking, and you think, why would I listen to any of these people? They don't have the balls to show who they are. There's all those kind of things that are around streaming. Me personally, if you're not on camera, I don't give a shit about your stream. I don't want to watch it. Like, this is a video medium, you know. This is just my opinion. You can shoot me. I don't care, right? Come out, shoot me. Say I'm old-fashioned or I'm a complainer, but if you're not on camera, I don't care. I don't want to see a dot of somebody talking. I don't want to see somebody doing a song and singing, and it's like, I can't actually see if you're really singing or you're just faking it. Like, get on camera, folks. This is a video format, right? So there you go. There's my little bitch of the moment. I just can't stand that stuff. Just like I can't stand this, needing a vape. You get on camera, Herbs. I've seen Hugh gets on camera. You know, anybody, Thomas is on camera. People who mostly get up and stream, but get on camera. Just get on camera. What do you got to lose, you know? Unless you're planning some kind of face reveal at 100,000 subs, it's not really that cool. But the origins of streaming. So it's interesting because it feels like since I got on the internet, streaming has been a thing and people are always streaming. But it's not always been the case. They have streamed in funnels of areas where you can stream, but it hasn't been like it is right now with streaming, yeah, where everywhere you look, everybody's streaming. I know you show your face on Chad. Hello, Chris. The two Chris's have come in together. Ooh la la. We won't ask any more about that, will we? Oh, shit, I thought you were putting a USA flag there like it was a cool thing there, covered by CQ. I don't think the rest of the world gives a shit about America at the moment. Apparently, we all owe you money. Anyway, let's not go down that path. I'll get angry and want to punch everything. So live streaming is the origins of live streaming. The first live stream actually was in 1993. Can you believe that? I think I got on the internet on 1992, something. It was pretty early. It had kicked off, and I was on as fast as I could get on. The very first live stream was actually credited to a band called Severe Tire Damage. Were the first band. So they had a band of a bunch of tech employees. They worked at a place called Digital Equipment Corporation. They streamed a live performance over the internet. The stream used multicast backbone, a system designed for multimedia transmission over the internet. The quality, well, you can imagine, was utter dog shit. It was worse than Brad's gig yesterday with the camera turned sideways. Wasn't that fun? I can give you an update on that. Brad has sent me the file, and I am currently spinning it around and chopping it up, and it'll be re-uploaded soon. So that was the first. Your neck still hurts? So does mine. You know what? I didn't even watch it. I just listened to it. Hey, Leela. G'day, Leels. So the next major streams, mid to late 90s, the first services appeared to do streams. So Real Networks they released a thing called Real Audio and Real Video, and this was the first time users could stream audio and video Of course, potato quality. You're probably going to hear that word a few times here, potato quality. Dog shit. In other words, use dial-up modems. Can you imagine watching a live stream of video on a dial-up modem? And we're talking the image, quarter of the size of my little camera in the corner here. Yeah, totally. Yeah, so a quarter of the size of this. That's how small it was. Just gross. So dial-up modems, 10 frames per second, postage stamp size video. So we're looking something like that, and 10 frames per second. That was, boy, we have come a long way. 1988, Broadcast.com were another company who got in the game. They had a guy named Mark Cuban. So they were one of the first companies to seriously offer audio video broadcasting over the internet. Yahoo actually purchased them, and that was the beginning of building the Yahoo chat client. So this broadcast.com was the original framework for that. The early 2000s, live streaming gets a bit more serious. Windows Media Player, QuickTime Player offered basic live streaming tools, mostly for corporate events. Churches, of course, because you got to look after them because, you know, they get all the breaks. Or niche techie things. The general public's still absolutely clueless to this kind of stuff. It's interesting because in the early 2000s, I was using a chat video client called PalTalk, which still exists now. And sure, it wasn't just like live streaming like it is here on YouTube, but what it was a group of people in a room or in a chat room with text and the same kind of thing, moderators and all that kind of stuff. But you could actually cam up in there and have, if you paid, I think when it was free, you got like a minute to view each person's cam. But if you paid a price, a subscription, you got to watch that person on cam. But again, these tiny little images like this, but still they got better and better as time went on. So 2005 was when YouTube was actually born. PalTalk had been in existence way before YouTube was even born. But of course, YouTube in 2005 was not a live streaming service. It actually was pretty much what its bread and butter was then, of just upload video, people view, and a completely different time and era of YouTube back in 2005 because it was about people and just talking shit and experiences and skits and all that kind of stuff, compared to what it is now with multiple channels of shills everywhere, just selling you shit constantly. And yeah. So in 2007, Justin TV launched, aka now called Twitch, if anybody remembers that. And Justin TV, I remember when it first started, I signed up straight away. It was live stream. It was the guy's name was Justin. I have to look that up. It started off Justin TV. So the guy's name was Justin, and he streamed 24/7. So very much like Big Brother. Opened users up to have conversations while the person was streaming, all that kind of stuff. Ustream TV was another one in 2007 that was happening. It was used more for like amateur broadcasting, political stuff, all that kind of thing. IBM acquired them later on, and that became IBM Cloud Video. So Ustream is now IBM Cloud Video. Livestream.com, that was another one. That was only a year happening, 2008 to 2009. So it was focused on professional grade live streaming. And then Twitch, 2011 to 2015, Twitch and YouTube really pushed the live streaming thing. Twitch focused more on games. It's only been recently that Twitch has moved from esports and video games to political stuff. And of course, we can't forget hot tub streaming. Yay. Yay. I have watched a few hot tub streams in my time on Twitch. Never sent any money to these idiots, but there they are. They're sitting in a blow-up pool in their mum's garage, writing weirdos' names on their tits. I guess it's a way to make money. Facebook tried to jump into the streaming service. They have failed miserably, Facebook, at their whole streaming service. Because Facebook have been really terrible at monetizing stuff. They just have no idea. And the worst thing about Facebook for streaming is, of course, their monetization model is dog shit, and their copyright claiming system is absolutely up shit creek. You do any kind of live stream, even when you stream away from YouTube and multi-stream over to like Facebook, and you're playing your own music that doesn't even have a copyright on it, you'll get claimed. That's just, Facebook is just, and there's no like system with Facebook like to like say, hang on a minute, that's my song. It's like, no, take the video down or fuck you. Because, you know, Facebook is a bag of hot shit waiting to be stood on by your local next door neighbor. Hello, Pete Johns. So we're up to 2015 through this little walk through the history of live streaming, and then 2016 to 2020 was the explosion of tools, firstly, and the explosion of people actually streaming, because OBS became a thing, Streamlabs became a thing. If you don't know the difference between the two, I think a lot of people do get confused. You've got OBS Studio. It's a free download. It's a piece of software. It's open source. You can fuck around with it, add plugins that people make. It's completely open source. Then Streamlabs created OBS Streamlabs. So this is Streamlabs is a company, and they use the open source code of OBS and added, what do you know, some friendly pay things to pay to get extra features and shit like that. And then we had in 2018 and 19, Streamyard and Restream. They arrived on the scene just in time for the pandemic, offering cloud-based and multi-streaming magic for non-techie folks. Twitch has continued to explode. We've had, during the pandemic, Zoom was a big thing as well too. Zoom really took off and really put the final nail into Skype. Skype, since Microsoft bought them, even though Skype and Zoom aren't really like live streaming services out to like a public kind of thing, you can use them in conjunction with things like OBS and even inside of Streamyard and Restream. So basically everybody is streaming these days. That's it. Everybody's streaming these days. You've got TikTok, Instagram Live, Facebook Live, Twitch, as I said, Zoom, StreamYard, Restream, and everybody's streaming everything they possibly can. I think Periscope was around for a while. They were around till about 2021. They were Twitter's thing. Meerkat, so that was around for a little while. YouNow was another one back in the 2010s. But it seems like here we are at this pivotal moment where streaming is so big, and these like cloud-based streaming services are really starting to get smashed, and the simplicity of them have been so easy to use that so many people are using them, and obviously their servers are getting smashed. And recently, StreamYard was the one to bump up their prices pretty high too. Like, let's be honest, we'll talk about prices and stuff because StreamYard is the most expensive, but it probably has the strongest software. Restream's kind of behind, but I'm always going to recommend OBS because OBS gives you much more control, much more power, much more flexibility. And the main reason I prefer using OBS is not because I literally hate StreamYard. I just don't particularly want to have a show that looks like StreamYard. And you know, you do you, boo. Remember, these rants are just my fucking opinion. You take my opinion and throw it in the bin. Absolutely. It's just my opinion. But you know, everyone's streaming and everyone's stream looks exactly the fucking same. And I don't want to look exactly the same. So I want to put my logos where I want them to be. I want to put whatever I want. I want to have the right transitions and move things how I want them to be, and have overhead cameras and have multiple cameras and be able to, you know, put up a screen like, whoops, not that. See if I can do this. If I come over here to my full iPad screen like this, and I want to put up like a logo if I want, and bring in, how can I do it? Bring in a logo like this and make them move the way I want them to. This is the difference, where Streamyard gives you only a certain amount of templates to move around and they all look the fucking same. And if you've watched any of the streams with Streamyard, sometimes just to try and put if you've got a panel and you just want to put a person full screen, you got to move the window over here and move it about. And there's just all these little things you got to do with Streamyard. They're a pain in the fucking ass. And I would have covered Ecamm today. I will talk about Ecamm. I just don't use Mac for streaming. But I will say, if you are streaming on Mac, I would pay the money and go for Ecamm over OBS. OBS is full of bugs. It's just never worked properly on Mac, no matter how many times I say, it's improved for Mac. It just isn't. It just is the way it is. All right. Let's say hello to a few other people who've joined us. We've got Joe Glenn, g'day, Gary Hubbs. And I'll definitely make an announcement of the death of the opening hour at the end of today's show. If you missed it at the start, the opening hour is dead, and I'm replacing it with something else. So I'll let you know what that is. Pete John says, yeah, I'll get there with Ecamm, I reckon. I've shifted everything from IML over. Yeah, Ecamm's really cool. I wish everyone had access to Ecamm. It takes the OBS concept and makes it way more user-friendly and more features. See, I agree, but I don't, because, I mean, if you look at my setup here, can I do the side cam? You can see here my setup, just quickly. Now, I know you're seeing it at a distance, but my camera's right here. It's in front of me. It's inside a teleprompter, right? So it's actually inside a teleprompter. And the rest of OBS is all scattered amongst this TV screen behind me. So I can check how many viewers I have up here, up the top. Hopefully you can see my mouse on the TV moving up there. I've got all my scenes up here, all my sources, my scene transitions, my audio mixer up in here, starting recording and stopping the stream. I've got all my chat here, so I can click over here and bring up a comment. But it's all on this big TV screen. Everything else is inside this little prompter. So that's my setup. And which is, when you use something like Ecamm, it's very similar. It opens up all these little windows and puts them around you. Kind of similar thing. I just have all mine spread out on a television set, multiple screens. But the thing is with let's bring it down, making an OBS stream is quite easy, right? It's this thing of, oh, but it's a lot of work to do it. Yeah, so's fucking putting together a show, putting together a live stream every week, if you're only doing one or if you're doing 5. That takes a lot of work. It doesn't take any more work than just saying, you know what, for a whole day I'm going to dedicate myself to sit down, grab all of my assets, if you don't know what assets are, logos, things like that, and just put them all into a folder and then start building from scratch. And we're going to show you how to kick that kind of thing off today, right now. Let's do it. So I've got somehow, I don't know how I'm doing this, guys. I've got an instance of 2 instances of OBS open. My computer is hating me right now. So let's bounce over here. So this is another instance of OBS. This is what you see when you first download OBS. As you can see, you've got your main screen up the top here, which, that's where you're going to see what everything looks like. You've got scenes over here. And so you've got all these blocks you can move around. You can actually literally pick these up and drag them and put them wherever the fuck you want them, right? So it's quite easy to use OBS. So, and the way I have it set up is scenes, sources, audio mixer, transitions, and then controls at the end. Because everything kind of runs, let me just get out of the shot here. Everything runs like this. You need a scene to be able to put in a source. Okay, so you need a scene to have a source. A source goes within a scene. So this is a scene. When I click this button, this is a scene right here. When I click the next button, this is also a scene as well. Let's check out another scene. This is a scene. This is a scene. And this is a scene. And within each of these scenes are sources. So, for example, this overhead split here, this split camera, has a bunch of sources in it. And what are those sources? Well, we've got the overhead camera shot and my iPad over there and my little camera in the bottom. So you can put whatever you want in a source, right? So if this particular source only has the overhead camera and me in the corner. Front facing, iPad view with me in the corner. So you can build these things however you want. Put your logos in. So let's bounce over to here. This is the beginning of a brand new scene. So of course, when you first open up OBS, you're going to get a scene preloaded. Here it is here. It's just called a scene. So I'm going to rename that. You can right click it. You can do any of this stuff, rename it. Let's just call it, what do I normally call it? We'll just call it the title. So this is where I'll put my title. So I'm going to create another scene. Plus, it's all very simple. Everything's just plus and a bin. Everything has a little bin or a plus. This stuff you've seen before, yeah? So we're going to do front camera. And I'm going to do another scene, and we'll call this like YouTube, if I want to play something. So I've got 3 scenes over here, and all of these scenes have nothing in them. So when I click on them, you can see in this little box here, there's nothing going on. Hey, G-May, what's happening? So nothing going on in any of them, right? Absolutely zero. So for the title, I want to create my first thing. And this is going to be like I have here, my title screen. And I can click between them, right? So we're just going to add a title quickly. And down here in sources, because remember, scenes are full of sources. We go down and you've got a list of all these things. Look how cool this is. You've got like, you can add an audio capture. You can add an audio output capture, a browser, color source, display captures, game captures, images, media sources, so videos, whatever you want, video captures, so that's a webcam, window captures, so many things you can put in here. We're just going to start by choosing an image, and I'm going to call this, we'll just call this main title, yeah. And this is where every day I can just put in what today's screen's going to be. So let's go into How to App on iOS. We'll grab a thumbnail from my list of thumbnails once they populate. We'll grab this one because Laurie's coming on the show this week. And there is my picture. I can come in here now and I can right click on this and change the size of it. You've got all these transform buttons, fit to screen. And there we go. There's my first scene. Done. Pretty fucking easy, right? And if I click front camera, I'd be moving to my next scene, the camera, yeah? So scenes, you're controlling scenes, you're flicking to them to get to your different scenes. That's pretty much it. Let's add a camera, shall we? So scene 2 is going to be the front camera, and I'm just going to find a video capture device. I'm going to call it my front camera. I'm not going to get into nested scenes or anything like this. All right. Oh, it's already in use. I've already done that. Let's just do face camera. That'll do. Face camera. And now it's asking me to find a camera. So here's the options, and you get a drop-down box. Here's all the cameras I have connected. And I'm just going to pick one. And here's the front-facing camera on my laptop. So there's my camera. Looks cool. You can come down and do things like, this is serious stuff you should do. Make a custom. Make sure the resolution is the highest resolution that will go for this camera. So this front-facing camera is only 720p. Hit OK. And now there's my camera. I can move this around wherever I want. It clicks. It's so good, the new OBS. It just clicks to wherever you want. And we can come in here and just stretch this out. And there's my front camera. All right. So now I can flick between here and here. And there's my camera. Hello. Welcome to the show. And this is where you can put in things like a logo, right? So if I come down here and hit, we're still in our camera section here. If I come in and hit plus, again, we can do like an image. And we'll just call this how to app logo. Yeah. Hit OK. And again, we just need to find a logo. Just find a freaking logo. And I don't know where. I think my logos are in a folder called assets. Let me just find that. I can't remember where it is. I think it's on here. OBS assets. There we are. OBS assets. And I can just find a how to app logo. And there is my logo. And now I can move this around, reshape it, put it wherever I want. In the corner, bottom corner. There we go. And there's a logo. So very quickly, I've got a front-facing camera. I've got a title screen. I've got a logo down there on the side that looks kind of cool. And now I want to do something else. I want to like have another screen with, say, a YouTube. So I can play YouTube music and have me in the bottom corner. That's why we've got this source here. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this face camera, copy it, come over to this YouTube source and just right click, oops, and hit, oh, I can't do that now, dickhead. Right click. Why can I not do that now? I've already copied it. Let's try that again. Copy. Come over here and I can paste this camera into a new scene. And now I can shrink this, put this down in the bottom corner, like so. Bring it right down here. And I might want to have a YouTube or just a page up, yeah? So I can show YouTube or whatever I want. Let's come in here. Just come to YouTube. Load up this page here. All right, so we got this in here. Come back to OBS. And now I'm going to create in this new source, in this new scene, a new source. And I'm going to do window capture. We'll just call it window capture. And it's going to let me choose something from here. It's going to let me choose Chrome, YouTube, and there it is. So I've just chosen this YouTube window. It doesn't even have to be showing it's in the background, right? So there it is. Let's make this as full screen as we possibly can. So we'll do like a right click and there's so many options. I'm just showing you something really quick today. This isn't a tutorial per se. Fit the screen. There it is. There's YouTube in there. But as you can see, where's my camera? Well, here's a beautiful thing. You can just grab things and drag them underneath. So we're going to put the YouTube capture underneath and there's me in the corner. Right? That's me in the corner. So now if I flick through these, here we go. Title screen, me, and YouTube with me in the corner. So there's just 3 really quick ways to make something super, super quick, right? So you can get really crazy like I have with my setup. But even when I lost my hard drive last year, my hard drive died and I lost the whole makeup of the show. It only really took me about 8 hours to remake my entire show. And you're probably thinking 8 hours, that's a long time. 8 hours and I've never had to touch it ever since. Just I get up every day and just stream and it works. So it is worth putting in the fucking time. Not only does it make your stream look different than everybody else's, it's ready to go all the fucking time. And you're probably saying now, well, how can I use that with StreamYard? Because you can, yeah? Hi, Dell and Seven Dust. And you got to be real careful with OBS. Changing something in one scene can change it in all the scenes. No, that depends. It depends on what you're copying and pasting and putting in places. As long as if you guys actually want me to start doing a series on OBS, I'm more than happy to do it, but I will be breaking it down into very small chunks, like nested scenes and all this kind of stuff. Nested scenes is the way to go. I'm certainly not setting up nested scenes at this time, but nearly all of my cameras are set as nested scenes, and nested scenes are pretty much like a group of things. So if we bounce back over here, a nested scene would be like, see this front-facing camera scene, and I can put like the logo and the camera and everything that's in this scene up here into a scene. So it's called a nested scene, and it's so much easier once you start to learn doing nested scenes. But here's a really cool thing, right? Let's just bounce over to, before we go any further, we're at our halfway point. Yeah. And I need to do an ad. So we run the ad every day. We run an ad at the halfway point. So YouTube knows I'm attempting to run ads and try and make $2. You can skip the ad or just become a YouTube Premium subscriber. The ad has been run, baby. There we go. And while that's doing a thing, let me just remind you, this week coming up on the show, you're not going to want to miss it. Laurie's Mishmosh is joining me. Laurie's Mishmosh, and we're going to find out what she's been doing since she first came on the show in 2022. So, yeah, it's been a while since she's been on my show. We'll find out what she's been up to. All right, let's get back into this. So, you may be aware of services such as Streamyard and Restream. Let's talk about them for a moment and talk about the prices of these things, because they're free to an extent. And it's a really... the ad did run, pause, it's just not everybody gets served an ad, and you were one of the lucky ones. Hey, Moby Pixel, good to see you. I didn't see you sneak in there. Hope you're doing well, my friend. All right, so let's talk about these. So we've got these two wonderful companies here. Let's talk about them. Streamyard. This is Streamyard. This is my Streamyard account. And Restream. Both very competitive. I have been using Restream ever since I started live streaming. The reason why I started using Restream was I was really only using Restream to multi-stream out. Because when I first started doing this, I thought that was the way to go. And I'm sure there's people going to tell you that live streaming to multiple places is a really good idea, and if that works for them, that's great. Does it work for me? No, not really, because what I find really hard is dealing with people from 5 different platforms all at the same time. It's hard enough to concentrate on your own chat on YouTube, but to have all these other chats coming in and all blending into this one chat, and you having to, all right, where did that one come from? That one came from Twitch. This one came from YouTube. It's a lot of fucking work. Plus, I'm not going to lie, the cultures from YouTube to Twitch, they're very different. And if you think that's just like, oh, I could just move from YouTube over to Twitch and no, they're very, very different kind of people. Yeah. And they have a completely different system of the way they donate and all that kind of stuff. It's just very, very different. So, yeah, you're dealing with an entirely different group of people and mindset all in one chat. I would just suggest streaming to one place. But what I don't know shit, right? I don't know shit. So, but you do you, boo. And if it's working out for you, and the other thing is too, you're separating, you're keeping people separated on other platforms. So it ends up looking like you've got 2 people watching on Twitch, you've got 15 people watching on YouTube, you've got 3 people on Facebook, and it's just, we got to bring people together at the moment instead of drive people further apart. You know what I'm saying? The world's going to hell in a handbasket, and there's one orange pedophile running it all at the moment, taking away your 401k. So we've got to like do our best to like bring people together. It just is what it is. So let's talk about the prices between these two. Streamyard recently had a huge price change. They lifted everything up. They raised their prices. And why did they do that? Well, because there's been a huge increase in streaming. And I know for us, it's just like hit stream and go. But again, these places need data centers and servers to be able to do this. And the world is currently just buying and buying and buying land and filling it up with data centers, and the electricity grid's just going wicked. We're not ready for this. So they have had to up their prices. You can complain all you want, but it just is the way it is. And so you can use StreamYard free. I think you only get a certain amount of people that can come on the stream with you. I think it's like 6 or something like that. Let's have a look. StreamYard Pro plan lets you have up to 10 people. You're looking at, I think, $39 a month. The free only gives you about 6. Restream, the free version lets you have, I can't remember how many people, but it's I think it's more than what you get with StreamYard. The pricing's a little bit different. The quality's a little bit, I mean, you really should try them out yourself. I'm not going to give an appraisal of which one's better. I stopped using Restream a little while ago. I think it's been about 5 months now since I stopped using Restream. I wasn't even using it to Restream anymore. I was using it to just use the chat feature. So I was getting ripped off every month. And OBS is free. But here's one of the things that I suggest a lot of people do with, if you want to get your toe into OBS but still use StreamYard, this is really, really handy to learn how to do. So let's bounce back over here to this version of StreamYard. Give me a sec. Of OBS. Here we go. So here's my OBS with my 3 scenes that I have. And I want to send this over into something like StreamYard. Can I do that? You know, instead of me having to use the functionality in StreamYard, I can just send this all this, the title, this, whatever I have in here straight into StreamYard. And that is by doing this. There's a little button over here. So there's 3 buttons when you want to start recording. Unfortunately, I can't bring up the settings button at the moment because I have already an instance of StreamYard of OBS running. So you can either start streaming, you can start recording, right? And you can start a virtual cam. Now, if I click a virtual cam, so this is now sending out all of this image to whoever wants to take on this virtual cam with all of these 3 scenes in it. Let me bring it back here. So if I want to come over here, we'll start with StreamYard, and I want to create a brand new live stream. See you later, Pete. I will dump everybody over there in 15 minutes. I'm in StreamYard. I want to create a brand new live stream. I'm going to use my Jade Starr account. We're going to call this test stream, blah, blah, blah. We're going to make it unlisted because what's the point? And I'm going to create a live stream like so. And we're now entering the studio into StreamYard. Many of you would have seen this image before. And look at that. There's my camera from OBS coming in, right? And how have I done this? Well, you go to settings, and instead of choosing the front-facing camera that you have, all you do is choose OBS virtual camera. And that is now taking anything that is running inside of OBS. Let me just show you that. Let's bring up OBS and put this over the top. Did that work? It's not letting me do it. Let's shrink this. There we go. So whatever I have here, I'm sending out, and I can show you this. So here's, make sure you can see over here, this is StreamYard. And if I change title, in OBS, you can see this is what we've got going. So I can just run all of this into a single camera into OBS. So this gives you the option of, say, you want to play, because I know a lot of people want to play YouTube music, and I've seen Laurie do it, or like a video clip, and they're actually uploading their own clips into Streamyard to be able to play them through the show. You can actually connect and like take the data from a browser and do that. Now, I'm not going to go into sound today, but this is just to set up a very simple way to send your virtual cam across. So there it is. And obviously you can just start streaming from here. Let me grab this, bring it back full screen. There we go. So, and I can jump into a stream straight away. I've got my definition. You can choose your audio stuff. So all that, jump into the stream. Why can't I scroll down? It's not letting me scroll down. But anyway, there's, oh, there, enter studio. So I can virtually enter studio from here. And there we go. I can bring myself up onto the screen. And if we bring this over here again, oops. Sorry, guys. Fucking Windows 11. Can you fuck off, Windows 11? How's that? And here is OBS. Again, here we are in StreamYard, and I can change my camera. So pretty easy stuff, yeah? Let's stop. Let's get out of StreamYard, and I'll show you how to do this in Restream. Same principle, yeah? Virtually the exact same principle. Okay, so we'll close out of this. Just go home. How do I leave studio? Leave studio. Thank you very much. And I can delete this test. Not going to use this. Delete broadcast. Delete on YouTube. Yes, please. Thank you. Okay, so Restream. Virtually the same thing. I want to go live. I want to start a brand new stream. I want to do a Restream studio. So Restream, it works exactly the same way as the way StreamYard does. It's all just laid out different ways. So just different templates. Once it's all together, once it does its thing, should I do a little dance while we're waiting for it to do its thing? There we go. So now we're in the studio. And look, automatically it picked up my camera because I had already set up the camera. So come down here to our camera settings, and I've got OBS virtual camera selected down here. So again, I can use OBS to control this. Beautiful stuff. Love it. Let me just make this a bit smaller. And yeah, you can see over there. So the reason I wanted to start off by talking about this kind of thing with OBS and the streaming services is because it's super easy to just set up a virtual camera. It allows you to dip your toe into using OBS and get an idea of setting up scenes, setting up sources, understanding transitions and all this kind of stuff. And you don't even really have to like get into the minutia, all the whole settings, sound settings, video settings. You can continue to use something like Restream or StreamYard, and it'll look a little bit better if you want. Let's make that full screen for now. We'll come over here. Oh, come on, bro. Let me move it. There we go. So, yeah. Super easy stuff. Let's close this stream. I don't want to be here anymore. This is how I end a stream. Oh, it's been so long. So that is how you do that. I've got this stream here. I can delete these. I don't need these things. That was April 7. April 07, that's today. So I can delete this. Don't need it. Goodbye. Goodbye. But there is a whole heap of amazing things. So again, and once you're finished, just turn off virtual camera and you're good to go. Now, I'll show you a bit of this before we've got 9 minutes. Hey, Rhett, I'm going to grab my current OBS and bring that over here for you. Now, it's going to be a little bit messy. Whoa, look at that. Why is that? Why is it so messy? You know what? I can't do that. I don't think I can even show you guys. Can I? I don't think I can do it. I was going to show you how mine works. Now, the other beautiful thing about using OBS and then going into Streamyard is you can use, say, a phone app for like the Stream Deck, right? So it's free. So Elgato offer this free app called Stream Deck, and you can load it up and you can assign in OBS all of your scenes to have a button to press to switch scenes. And it just makes life so much easier when you're live streaming to have like a phone in front of you with all these buttons that you just can flick between scenes. And if you guys want me to do this thing, we will do a dedicated series to OBS. But as you can see with my setup here, and I'll try and zoom in a little bit as much as I can. Give me a sec. I only got a few more minutes. I think it's camera 1. Let's see if it is camera 1. Yes. All right, there we go. So I actually have a Stream Deck here. And there it is there. You can see this is my Stream Deck. And this has all of my scenes that are in OBS. So if I press, and now you're going to lose me here. Press that first button, it gives you the title screen. If I press the second button here I am. If I press the third button, it's going to bring up the iPad and me. So everything is controlled by this Stream Deck. And you don't have to go out and buy an expensive Stream Deck. Trust me on that. If you have any kind of phone, an Android or whatever it is, you can use the Stream Deck phone and connect this up super easy over Wi-Fi or plug it in, or so it's really cool for that. I can turn off the lights with presses, and you can do this all from your phone as well. If you've got the lights that kind of do this stuff, I can zoom in on myself when I'm on. So I have zoom buttons to zoom in on myself. I can open folders with more buttons. There's so many things and tricks you can do with this. I can switch microphones on. The Stream Deck's a whole other beast within itself. But the beautiful thing about using OBS is that you can connect a lot of external peripherals like the Stream Deck, and just be able to focus more on this and doing a show, and have a hand down here, which is continuously, muscle memory for buttons to press, and you're able to keep your focus on the front of the camera. So these things are really important, I think, anyway. But look, if you've been a bit worried about OBS, download it. Have a go. Fuck around with it. There are heaps of tutorials. There are some fantastic channels out there. We've got the Yelly Man. I call him the Yelly Man. What's his name? Oh, fuck. Michael Freya Jr.
But if you watched anything else about OBS before this, you may have been bombarded with so much stuff that you're worried OBS is too advanced or complicated to be able to pick up easily. Well, don't worry. You found the right...
Anyway, he's got some really great videos. This dude's super. Everything's OBS. His channel's called Michael Freya Jr. I call him the Yelly Man because every show he basically yells at you. All right, so maybe not this one. Let's find one with him yelling.
Hello, my YouTube friends. So you just got a desktop so you can take your streams to the next level. That's freaking sweet.
Let's see if he yells in this one.
Does he
yell in this one?
Hello, my YouTube friends. Multi-streaming is all the rage these days.
The problem is with his channel, I will say, is that he tries to add too many gimmicks and stuff, and it just looks shit. The other thing about OBS is that there are lots of third-party plugins out there. People are making amazing plugins that you can download for free and do really cool transitions and stuff, and things that don't come with OBS. Of course, this stuff takes time, but the reason I want to talk about it is you're presenting your show to people And, you know, shows need to have character and they need to represent you. And, you know, sometimes it doesn't take much to move to the next step, to just add a few little things to make your stream stand out and look a little bit different than just the standard Streamyard blocks with nobody on camera singing karaoke. You know, that's it. I think we're at the end. All right, so hopefully some of this has helped. If you guys want me to do some more tutorials on OBS, some pre-recorded stuff and live streams where I answer questions and all that kind of stuff, you let me know in the comments below and I'll do it for you. I've got no problem because I am really into OBS. I think OBS is cool, and I think the eCam for Mac is just as awesome. If you got a Mac, look into that as well. But there's plenty of other channels out there that talk heaps about OBS. All right, let's cover the last thing I was going to do before I dump you over to Pete. So we're putting a nail in the coffin of the opening hour as of this week. There will be no opening hour, maybe for a couple of months. I need a break from just treading water and singing the same old songs over and over again. So starting this week will be the creative hour. You get to choose. There'll be a poll up on the channel. There'll be 4 styles of music that will go up this week. You decide what style of music I have to make within an hour and then perform to you in the last 5 minutes of the show. That is the show. It is the creative hour. You tell me what style of music I have to make, and within an hour, within 52 minutes, I have to make a song with lyrics, vocals, everything, and then at the end I have to sing that song and perform it to you in a big gala performance with lights and shining things and things dropping from the sky. You get to decide what style of music I have to make in 1 hour. So that will be between Thomas Christ and Pete Johns. Thomas does Thomas Christ Live, and then Pete does the happy hour. And just for a couple of months, you decide what music I have to make, because I'm in a rut at the moment and I'm really struggling to sit down in front of my amazing studio that I have here and make music. I'm not feeling it. So what do you do in those situations? Something different. And I feel like I'm getting to each week and going, what am I going to sing this week? You know what I mean? So why not try and make something and then sing that the best I can? So hopefully you'll get involved. Tomorrow we'll go up the first poll and you choose between the 4 styles of music that'll be up. And then this coming Saturday, we'll see if I can pull it off. Awesome. All right, Pete's up. 1 minute's time. Lots of great stuff coming up on the channel. Walk with me this week. I'm out filming either tomorrow or the day after. I'm on a search this week to find the best meat pies in Melbourne, because I know Crimson Crux vomits every time he hears the word meat pies. And I just want to know that Nate's vomiting for a whole day. Anyway, so that's happening this week. Thanks for hanging out today. Do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better. We'll all rise together. Stay awake, my friends, and let's oge all over to Pete Johns. Let's oge.